hosting the devolution conference. James Nyikal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask question number 066 of 2025. The Cabinet Secretary to clarify whether the National Police Service undertakes psychological and mental health assessment during recruitment of police officers, including whether police officers recently recruited have undergone such evaluation. And two, Mr. Speaker, to provide details on the psychological, mental health, and behavioral adaptation components incorporated in police training curriculum, and indicate whether the curriculum promotes a punitive and adversarial approach towards the public rather than a rehabilitative and correctional approach. And three, Mr. Speaker, state the measures put in place to ensure continuous assessment of the psychological and mental well-being of police officers, particularly with regard to their fitness to perform policing duties. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The service undertakes medical examination for potential recruits, which include psychological evaluation, mental health assessment, and aptitude test. The psychological evaluation process entails screening for emotional stability, stress tolerance, personality traits, and behavioral risk factors. Aptitude test, conducted as part of the same framework, assess critical cognitive skills such as reasoning, memory, and decision-making capacity, of all which are essential for the effective discharge of police service. Mr. Speaker, on the second part, the National Police Service training curriculum has integrated psychological, mental health, and behavioral adaptation components into the following areas. One, the National Police Service training curriculum incorporates stress management content across all levels of training and ranks. These modules aim to build psychological resilience and help officers cope effectively with the emotional demands of policing. Strategic management and leadership courses embed emotional intelligence training to enhance senior officers' capacity to understand and regulate their emotions, demonstrate empathy, and engage in constructive interpersonal communication. This supports better making and conflict environment resolution in high-pressure environment. Officers' wellness and resilience programs are actively provided to all serving officers. These initiatives are implemented in collaboration with specialized institutions such as Chiromo Hospital Group and Amani Counseling Center and Training Institute. The programs include psychological support, counseling, and wellness education to promote mental well-being and prevent burnout. The curriculum is designed to strike a balance between punitive, adversarial, and rehabilitative correctional approaches to policing, depending on the nature of the situation and the operational demands as follows. One, punitive and adversarial components are emphasized in units such as drill, skill at arms, field craft, and physical training. These subjects prepare officers to maintain discipline, enforce lawful authority, and exercise effective command and control. They are critical for managing high-risk situations such as effective arrests, dispersing violent crowds, and neutralizing terrorist threats. These units help instill a warrior mindset when dealing with hostile or dangerous circumstances where officers and public safety are paramount. Rehabilitative and correctional approaches are integrated in subjects like community policing, community communication skills, first aid, and human rights training. These subjects are mandatory across all the training levels, from basic recruit training to command and leadership courses for senior officers. The units emphasize empathy, trust building, and seeing members of the public as partners in crime prevention and safety. Officers are trained to adopt proactive, solution oriented strategies such as diversion, conflict mediation, and non-coercive methods to gain compliance. These courses promote a guardian mindset which reflects a commitment to ethical policing, public service, and the protection of human dignity. On measures put in place to ensure continuous assessment of the psychological and mental well-being of officers, Mr. Speaker, the following measures have been put in place to ensure continuous assessment of the psychological and mental well-being of the officers. Number one is the institutionalized periodic psychological evaluation for officers. This screening helps detect early signs of stress, trauma, or mental health challenges, especially after critical deployment or, Mr. Speaker, critical incidents or deployments. Two, developed a mental health and wellness policy which guides the implementation of psychosocial interventions, confidentiality protocols, referral pathways, and reintegration of officers after treatment. Psychologists, counselors, and social workers have been deployed to major police stations and formations countrywide. This ensures that officers can access on-site timely counseling services without having to be referred to externally unless it is extremely necessary. Introduced peer support networks where trained officers offer mental health, first aid, and psychosocial support to their colleagues. These peer supporters are trained to identify signs of distress, provide initial support, and refer cases needing professional help. 5, officers involved in distressing operations such as shooting incidents and terror-related incidents are subjected to immediate psychological debriefing. This helps in processing trauma, preventing traumatic stress disorder, and promoting emotional recovery. 6, to promote holistic well-being, officers are encouraged to participate in wellness activities such as physical fitness, routines, guided meditation, team-building exercises, and spiritual retreats organized by Directorate of Chaplaincy and Counseling. 7, confidential reporting channels have been established for officers to seek help without fear of stigma. Some stations have designated safe spaces for counseling and mental health check-ins. 8, recognize the impact of police work on families. The government has introduced family counseling and outreach programs. This involves spouses and children in the healing and support process and help reduce domestic tensions and emotional stresses. Finally, number 9, for officers who have been on medical or psychological leave, reintegration program helps them transition back to duty safely and effectively. This includes step-by-step assessment, mentorship, and support from peer teams and psychologists. I thank you.
Yes, Dr. Nyikal, that's satisfactory.
Thank you, Mr. Minister, for a very well laid out response. However, I have a concern that actually led me to this. What we have observed first of all, in the general working of the police force and also during demonstrations and even in their homes actually do not indicate that what you are saying really happens. There's obviously increased homicide amongst the police in use of firearms, attacking each other, their seniors, and that's normally a sign that something is actually wrong in the system. 2, suicide, again, is an indication that basically something is wrong, and this is common, and we get many reports. And 3, their conduct during tense situations. I was particularly concerned when I saw what happened in the case of Boniface. Once somebody ceases to be a threat to the security of a police officer, one would expect that now that person is actually further protected. But if you looked at the police officer who shot Boniface, he was going away almost celebrating that somebody who has scored a goal. That is not proper. And again, once somebody is down, the continual beating of the same person indicates that the psychological state of the officer is not actually security at that point, but further punishment and harm. So I don't know how often this is done and what is taken, and maybe if you have the information, I did ask for that. How many police officers have actually, one, been actually retrained or put out of service because of that, or actually punished when their behavior is out of the normal in regard to what their mental status should be when they're carrying out the sensitive jobs that we know they do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the CS has actually, on the answer to the issue of police training, he has actually